She really won't remember any of this.
The worse it is, the more they forget. All trauma gone.
Babe, right? Let's not freak out. Shit, babe!
I, Slater King, would like to formally apologize for my behavior. I've sought therapy, and I'm going to take a leave of absence from my company while I face these issues head on. I'm sorry.
The movie begins with a woman named Frida. A young woman in her late 20s is scrolling through her phone when she comes across news articles and interviews about Slater King. Once a famous and wealthy businessman, Slater lost everything after being caught in a scandal. Despite his bad reputation, he is trying to fix his image and get back to his old life. Frida watches the interviews with mixed feelings, wondering if people like him can really change. Frida and her best friend Jess work as cocktail waitresses at fancy events. Tonight, they are working at a gala hosted by Slater King's company. The party is full of rich guests dressed in expensive clothes, and the air is buzzing with excitement. While serving drinks, Jess reveals that she secretly brought 2 beautiful dresses so they can pretend to be guests instead of staff. Frida is hesitant but agrees, and they quickly change into the dresses and blend in with the crowd. Their fun is cut short when Frida's heel breaks, making her trip and bump into a waiter. The accident draws attention, and before she can recover, Slater King himself steps in to help. With a charming smile, he breaks off her other heel so she can walk evenly. Frida is flustered but intrigued by his confidence. Slater introduces her to his wealthy friends, making her feel like part of their world. By the end of the night, he invites Frida and Jess to join him and his friends on a trip to his private island. The offer is too tempting to refuse, so they accept. The next day, Frida and Jess fly to the secluded island, where they meet the other guests. Slater's serious assistant, Stacy, takes everyone's phones, saying it's to protect privacy and help them disconnect. Frida is given a fancy room where she finds a bottle of perfume. She sprays some on herself, enjoying the scent, but then a maid enters her room. Looking distant and nervous, the maid only says the words "Red Rabbit" before leaving. Frida finds it odd but doesn't think much of it. At first, the island feels like a dream. The guests relax by the pool, sip cocktails, and enjoy the stunning views. Slater gives Frida a tour of the island, mentioning a snake problem that his staff handles. They talk about Frida's small business, where she creates nail art inspired by animals. Slater seems genuinely interested, making her feel special. As they walk, she notices Stacy carrying red gift bags, but doesn't pay much attention. That night, the group gathers for dinner. The food is amazing, the drinks are flowing, and soon everyone takes MDMA to enhance the party mood. The next morning, Frida wakes up feeling strange. She notices that a red stain on her dress from the night before has disappeared. Confused, she wonders if someone cleaned it while she slept, but she has no memory of it happening. As the days pass, Frida starts noticing odd things. She has flashes of memories that don't make sense and wakes up with dirt under her nails. Even though she hasn't been outside, she begins to feel uneasy. One day, she tries to return Slater's vape pen to him, but he introduces her to Rich as if they've never met before, even though they spoke at the gala. The mistake unsettles her. Meanwhile, Jess also notices strange things. She sees the same maid handling snakes and becomes suspicious. One night, during a party, Jess screams in pain after being bitten by a snake. Slater quickly kills the snake and gets Jess treated, but the experience shakes her. She confides in Frida, saying she feels something is wrong on the island. Later, she starts getting nosebleeds out of nowhere, making her even more worried. The next day, Frida meets the maid again, who offers her a drink made from snake venom. Frida hesitates but drinks it. The taste is bitter, but she forces it down. Later, she notices Sarah has a strange bruise on her arm. But the most terrifying discovery is that Jess is missing. Even worse, Camilla and Heather act like they don't remember her at all, even though they've been using her lighter. Panicked, Frida rushes to her room, where she finds a knife hidden behind the mirror. A sudden memory flashes in her mind. Desperate for answers, Frida confides in Sarah, who also senses something is off. Together, they sneak into a room where Frida saw the red gift bags. Inside, they find more of the snake venom drink. They realize that the perfume is causing memory loss, while the venom helps regain lost memories. Determined to uncover the truth, they trick Camilla and Heather into drinking the venom by mixing it with tequila. Stacy unknowingly drinks it too, and soon memories start returning. As the group gets drunk, Frida sneaks into Slater's office to find their confiscated phones. Sarah stands guard. Hiding inside, Frida searches through Slater's things and finds old photos from a past trip to the island. As she flips through them, she suddenly gets a heavy nosebleed, triggering a flood of memories. She remembers being tied up with other women. Terrified, she realizes that Jess had remembered everything earlier, which is why Slater had her killed. Now, Frida understands the full horror of what's been happening. That evening, Frida and Sarah put a plan in motion. As the party continues, Camilla and Heather regain their memories. Enraged, Camilla stabs Tom in the neck, killing him instantly. Heather tries to kill Vic by smashing him with a chessboard, but Stan, Slater's bodyguard, shoots her in the head. Chaos erupts. Stan hunts Frida down, but Sarah smashes his head with a rock, killing him. Meanwhile, the remaining men take Camilla hostage. In a cruel act, Slater steps on her neck until she suffocates, killing her in front of everyone. Outside, Stacy finds Frida and attacks her, blaming her for making her remember the abuse she had suffered. After a brutal fight, Frida manages to stab Stacy in the heart. Sarah chases Cody into the woods and kills him. Meanwhile, Lucas, the only man who hadn't harmed the women, starts remembering everything. Overcome with guilt, he doesn't know what to do. But before he can act, Slater shoots him in the head. Frida and Sarah, now furious, enter the villa to confront Slater. A fight breaks out between Frida and Slater. He is stronger, but she is fueled by rage and memories of his cruelty. As they struggle, she remembers escaping the island once before, only to forget everything because of the perfume. She even recalls biting off Vic's pinky in an attempt to survive. Desperate, Slater takes a hit from his vape pen, not realizing Frida had filled it with the flower toxin. Disoriented, he forgets everything that just happened. As panic sets in, he knocks over some candles, setting the villa on fire. Frida drags his confused body outside while the fire consumes Vic. Later, Frida is seen at another high-end event, standing next to Slater, who now appears quiet and obedient. She has been secretly giving him the flower toxin through his vape, keeping him under her control. The event host introduces her as Slater's wife and the new CEO of his company. Rich, one of the men who had harmed her, looks terrified. He remembers what he did, and now he knows that Frida is in charge. The end. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more videos.